What's up, Turbo Heads? It's me, Majora, here today to fill in for Alex for my shitty old reviews. Not my shitty old reviews, they're his shitty old reviews in his series titled My Shitty Old Reviews. He actually asked me to be the first guest host to host the intro for this series, and that's when I told him he should just let Spencer have it. So, shout outs to you, Spencer. I hope you enjoyed going first. But you're the first to lose because I'm going today, baby. Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about some real shitty games today, or shitty reviews of games. Some of them shit. I think you'll find that very much the case, Terry. But you'll also find one of them especially shitty, how much you love it. It's going to be one of the last ones. I think you'll look forward to it today, Terry. Yes, Terry. Maybe Terry will co-host one of these one day. Wouldn't that be awesome? Alex's son. It runs in the family. But I'm in the family. You know me. Majora. I'm all over this channel. We went digital a couple days ago. We reviewed the Pac-Man games. But right now, we're going to look back at Alex's old reviews. Back when they were beautiful, some might say. The super hyper turbo gamers are at it. I think you've really got your, watch stuff ahead for you today. I think you got some good watching material. So go ahead, grab yourself a bag of Fritos and really chow down as you sit back, relax, and enjoy the content. Terry. If only I had some Fritos.
Super Hyper Turbo Gamers.
Welcome back to the Horror Game Marathon. Today it's Castlevania for the NES. This is one of the classic NES games that everybody should know at least what it is, or, played it. Sorry, I'm recording in the morning. I'm tired. Castlevania is a beloved franchise of gamers everywhere. And it's one of Konami's big three. Big three meaning there's this, Silent Hill, and Metal Gear. I don't really think they have much else. Maybe Dance Dance Revolution, but I don't really count that as a big franchise. But, yeah. So, Castlevania, you play as Summon Belmont. It's part of the legendary Belmont family, who are vampire killers, and you go around with your whip named the Vampire Killer, I think. And you kill when you go climbing up Dracula's tower to kill Dracula for some reason, because Dracula's not allowed to exist. I don't know. There might be more of a plot than that, but that's pretty much all I get from the story. So that's what I'm going to say. Castlevania is a really good game for about anybody. It packs a nice challenge without being like mega challenging like Ghosts and Goblins is, to where you can. It's going to give you trouble here and there, but you can still get through it. Ghosts and Goblins just like handed you your own butt on a platter and it was like, have fun. You were like, ugh. But this game is just has a nice balance between gameplay and controls and challenge and whatnot, and all that neat stuff that makes a game a game. I know this and Ghosts and Goblins aren't really horror games per se, but they have the nice Halloween theme to it. And this is personally one of the games that this time of year I like to break out and play some Castlevania because it just fits the Halloween mood. I almost said Halloween spirit, like it's Christmas or something. Castlevania is a really fun time. I would advise about any level gamer to try this. You can get it on, you can buy the cartridge like I have for NES. You can download it on Virtual Console, and I don't know if you can get it on 3DS yet, but you might. I don't think so. I'll have to look that up. You can get the Castlevania Chronicles for PS1 on PSN. That's like a remake of Castlevania 1, so that technically counts. You can just play some of the other games like Castlevania 3, Castlevania 4, Symphony of the Night, Bloodlines, Rondo of Blood, Dracula X, Curse of Darkness, Lords of Shadow, any of the DS games. There's so many Castlevania games out there now. It's hard to avoid the series, and really, you can't really go wrong with any of them except for like Castlevania 2 and the 64 Castlevania games. Those aren't that great, so just avoid those, and know what you're getting into. And I missed that jump. Happily though, that's the only time I die in this whole review. Yay! Go me being alright at this game. But I think it's it for Castlevania. I don't really have a lot to say about this one, except for it's just a great classic game that could use more. It could use more robots. I'm just kidding. I don't know why I said that. You could tell that I'm recording this in the morning because I sound loopy. But Castlevania, yep, it's really good. Horror game marathon. It's gonna continue. I think next is Silent Hill. Yep, it's actual Silent Hill for the PS1. I'm actually gonna tackle a horror game next. Not one of these platforming games with the horror theme slapped on it. An actual horror game where things actually scare you. And then I may tackle Resident Evil Revelations for Wii U, since I have that. And I know I'm gonna do a little bit of Doom. I don't know what else. Maybe some Twisted Metal, maybe some House of the Dead, maybe some Luigi's Mansion. Not really entirely sure yet. I'll have to think about it. But you'll find out what will happen. And just remember, the horror marathon is going on all through October until the end. So that'll be a fun time. So until the next episode, hey, keep playing fun games, I guess. I don't really have a catchphrase for signing off, so I'll see you guys in the next review.
Hey geeks and gamers, and welcome to my review of Sonic Generations. I am not gonna lie, sometimes being a big Sonic fan just flat out sucks. Sometimes you get some of the crappiest games, or you get some games that are actually pretty good, like Sonic Unleashed, that everybody around you labels as crappy. And it really sucks whenever a Sonic game comes out and you're a big Sonic fan and people just don't enjoy it as much as you enjoy it, But then a game like Sonic Generations comes around, and Sonic Generations came off the heels of Sonic Colors. And what Sonic Generations is it's a celebration of the Hedgehog. It was his birthday, and it was a Sonic anniversary title, and it's just celebrating all the years of the Hedgehog, the good, the bad. It just makes them feel special. The story has to deal with classic 2D Sonic and new school 3D Sonic teaming up to save all Sonic's friends from this evil time monster that has stolen them. It is a pretty simple plot. I will say I wish the plot was a little bit bigger. I like it when the Sonic games have bigger plots. The last few Sonic games, like Sonic Lost World, Sonic Colors, they've really had very, very, very simple plots. I like plots like in Sonic and the Black Knight and in Sonic Unleashed, where they're bigger and they really feel more grand. But even that, like I was saying, sometimes you find some Sonic games that you really like that other people just hate, and I'm not gonna lie, there are some bad Sonic games. Sonic 06, Sonic Shuffle, Sonic Labyrinth, really bad Sonic titles, but there are some really good ones hidden out there. Games like Sonic Heroes, Sonic Unleashed, heck, I even like the Secret Ring game. Those were a lot of fun, and even like certain games like Shadow the Hedgehog, I don't find to be as bad. Sure, the story and the plot's kind of really dumb, but the gameplay and the gunplay actually work really well. So for the most part, I find that Sonic games are really underrated. But then you play this, and it just takes all the history of Sonic and mashed it together in a really awesome package. You have two types of levels. 2D Sonic levels, like you're seeing here, where it's classic Sonic, and it doesn't feel exactly like the Genesis game, but it feels close enough to the Genesis game to where you kind of have your bearings if you know classic Sonic. Then there's 3D stages, but we'll show those in a second. Yeah, but the 2D stages are really good though. I would say they're not my favorite part of the game, but they're definitely a great, big addition. The best part of the game though is the 3D stages, in my opinion. What's cool is playing levels that weren't in 2D in 3D. They weren't in 3D in 2D in games that and levels that weren't in 3D in 2D. That's really awesome. Like Green Hill Zone here looks awesome in 3D. And so do a few other stages. They look awesome in 2D and 3D. And this game has really good art design and really good music. And this game is just a really great Sonic title. And what I love most is that it feels like Sonic Unleashed. The gameplay feels a lot closer to Sonic Unleashed than Colors did. Colors feels close, but Colors also has a lot of, in my opinion, Sonic Rush elements. And it feels a lot more 2D based. This game feels a lot more 3D on its 3D stages, and it feels a lot more branched out and has a lot more varying routes, and it's a lot more dynamic, and it just feels great to play. The game overall, it has 3 different areas. It has the classic era, which has a level from Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Sonic 3. Then it has they call it the Dreamcast era, but it has a level from Adventure 2, and Heroes. Then the modern era has a Sonic 06 level, an Unleashed level, and a Colors level. So that's 6 stages broken up into 2 stages for each area. So that's a total of 12 stages. There's 3 rival fights, 3 boss fights, and the final boss fight. So overall, that's not a bad package, but I kind of wish they would have thrown in a little bit more. Maybe put in some levels from the really weird games, or maybe one level that ran through all the really weird games. What if this game actually has really good boarding mechanics when it comes to levels that use a little snowboard. What if they did a Sonic Riders type level? That'd have been awesome. Or what if they did a Sonic and the Secret Rings, or the Black Knight theme level, or heck, even a Shadow level. I would have liked to see those, because all these levels feel fantastic, and there's not a level, there's not a single level in this game that I don't enjoy. Now, when it comes to stuff to do after you beat the levels, there are tons of missions you can play, and art and music to unlock. And one of the coolest features is that actually you can unlock music to replace the tracks in the levels. So I'll do it later when it comes to Rooftop Run, But when it comes, like say I don't like the music for Rooftop Run, I can replace it with whatever other song I want to, and it's a really awesome addition that I really, really, really enjoy. See, like here's an example of a rival fight. The rival fights are Metal Sonic, Shadow, and Silver. So and those three respectively fit the rival fights just fine. Now the three boss fights, I felt like maybe they weren't best ones. Like the first one is the boss from Sonic 2, like the Eggman robot thing, and it's alright. The second one is Perfect Chaos, and it's pretty awesome. And then the final one's A Dragoon from Sonic Unleashed, and I also felt like it was just meh, but I don't know. I don't think they had a lot of work with for that one. But like I said, these levels just look amazing, and the gameplay feels so fast and fluent. And I kind of hope they go back to this. Sonic Boom is just about to come out at the time of this recording. It's November 6th right now, and Sonic Boom's about to come out. So I am crossing my fingers and hoping the next Sonic game, instead of doing the Lost World thing, even though I like Lost World, I hope it goes back to the Unleashed type formula. Or heck, they could do a Sonic Generations 2, but I don't think they would. But I think that would be awesome. But do another Unleashed type level, and like a design type. I don't know, like the boost to win stuff. Because honestly, that's my favorite 3D Sonic gameplay to date. I like the Sonic Adventure gameplays a lot. But the Sonic Unleashed gameplay, I felt just had more, I had more emphasis on being fast and beating your times. It feels a lot more like what you expect Sonic to feel like, I guess. So, see, that's what I mean by awesome boarding mechanics, is like this level right here. This level, which is the famous City Escape from SA2. It has an awesome opening boarding sequence, and they could have totally took that and made like a writer's theme level out of it. That would have been amazing. Or just done something else. I feel like they could have squeezed a little bit more out of the levels in this game than they did. The game is kind of short, and that might be something that might frustrate a lot of people, especially because when it came out, it was a $60 game, and I bought it straight out. But I like the levels so much that I replay the crap out of them, so it was worth it to me. So, overall. But then again, what are your favorite Sonic games, either by level or by track or, by character or whatever? They're gonna be represented here somewhere. Like my favorite Sonic game is probably 2, but my favorite 3D game might just be Heroes. I like Heroes a whole lot, and Seaside Hill, this level was awesome. It's honestly probably the best level in the game, in my honest opinion. And I'm not just saying that, it's pretty great. But I do like a lot of Sonic games, So, being a Sonic fan, this game is just like, it's just a dream come true. And if you have a PC and you play on the PC, the Sonic Generations PC version has a lot of cool mods. Like, fans have been doing a lot of cool mods for that stuff. A lot. It's crazy. Like, they made character mod, level mods, they've recreated games. It's crazy what Sonic fans will do with the Sonic Generation, engine, with like the Hedgehog engine. It's so awesome. And I'm so happy that, that there's still a Sonic fan base this big, Even though the Sonic fan base can be kind of loud and obnoxious sometimes. And, sure, I can be considered part of that, because I'm pretty obnoxious when I talk about Sonic on the show. Because I'm just like, oh, Sonic's the best thing ever. But I can see why people wouldn't like Sonic. But, I love the Sonic fan base, and I just, I love seeing it grow. I'm hoping Sonic Boom really helps to grow the Sonic fan base even more to a wider audience. And I am really excited for Sonic Boom. I'm not going to buy Sonic Boom right out. I'm probably going to wait until Sonic Boom lowers in price, or until I see a review that really gives me a reason to pick it up day one. Because I have other games that I want to get right now, like Smash Bros, of course, and Bayonetta 2, and heck, even Lego Batman 3. I'm excited for Lego Batman 3. How awesome is that? So, you know, Sonic Boom is a game that I'm gonna get eventually, but not right now. So Sonic Generations, though, you can find it on the PC, the Xbox 360, and the PS3. There is a Wii U version. The Wii U version, I would say, I don't know. It's not that great. Sorry, not Wii U. I meant 3DS. I don't know why I said the 3DS version. There's a 3DS version. The 3DS version isn't that great. It does have different levels. It does use different levels like Mushroom Hill and a few other ones that I wish this game would have had in it. But overall, maybe try the 3DS versions if you get a chance, but don't go out and buy the 3DS version unless you find the 3DS version for dirt cheap. But buy the HD version. Here I'm changing my music to Race to Win for the Rooftop Run level because I love Race to Win. It's off Sonic Rivals. I think 2. I don't know. Someone correct me, but it's an awesome track to run and jump to, and it feels amazing. And look at this spectacle. It looks so awesome. It's just, even the critics liked this game when it came out. So I feel like lately Sonic Team has been doing a little better with getting back to what makes Sonic Sonic, even though I've enjoyed the past Sonic games to a point. Now, I do wish this game used a lot more of the friends. You can actually save the friends. That's what you're doing, is each level you save a Sonic character. But I wish they actually used the friends for gameplay a lot more. That's why I'm really excited for Sonic Boom, is because we actually play as the friends again. It's been a long time since we've really been able to do that in a main Sonic game, And I mean, I like Sonic, I love other Sonic characters. I really hope that the next game kind of not really brings it back, but maybe has a lot to do with Sonic along with either Silver or Shadow, because I really like those other two characters, and they had potential if they didn't make Sonic 06 and crash him into the ground. But especially Silver. Silver has a lot of potential as a character. And speaking of which, here he is right here. This is probably the best rival fight in the game, and it's awesome because it comes from a game which everybody pans. Even me, I panned it back in the day whenever me and David made our crappy old review of the game. But it's honestly the best rival fight in the whole game. It's really freaking weird. Like I said, if you like Sonic, or if you maybe like some of the classic Sonic games, definitely try to go pick this game up. It's well worth it. It's well worth the money. Sonic fans, or just people who enjoy Sonic in general, definitely give this game a look. And that, Geeks and Gamers, was my review of Sonic Generations. I hope you liked it. I know it was a little lengthy. I'm sorry. But I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.
Hey Geeks and Gamers, today I'm going to review the Activision Anthology for the PS2. So, you know what? Let's go to the 80s. Today is the 80s. If you're watching this review, you are going with me back to the 80s. I was not born in the 80s. I was born in the early 90s, so I don't know much about the 80s. I wasn't there, but here is the Activision Anthology, which pretty much celebrates 80s video game and just culture in general. It's the Activision Anthology. If you didn't know, Activision started out on the Atari. Members of Activision worked at Atari, but were not getting credited for their work. So they were like, "Hey guys, let's just go fucking make our own company." So they went and they made Activision, who was like one of the first third-party companies, and made some of the best Atari games. And here you go. The Atari Anthology. It's a great history lesson in Atari. I know I haven't really touched on Atari that much on this show. I do have an Atari 2600 and a buttload of games, but I do not have any way to record footage, and I'm not gonna put my camera in front of the TV. So here's the Activision Anthology, and I'm playing Kaboom. Now, what's cool about the Activision Anthology is that, they could have just had some kind of lame menu and popped games on there and done, but they went all out. Like, if you listen in the background, there's 80s music always playing. The little menu looks like some kind of room with a wood grain panel TV and Atari and a little stereo. It's just they went all out for this anthology, and it really shows, because it makes you, I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm in the 80s, even though I was never in the 80s, if that makes any sense, As much as I love the safety dance, which is in this game, and Back to the Future and other 80s things, they weren't a part of my childhood as much as other things from other generations, because I wasn't in the 80s. So you know what? This is the perfect game for somebody who wants to learn about the early 80s, late 80s video game console, the Atari 2600. Because not Atari, but Activision made some of the most iconic games for the console. Games like Pitfall, like River Raid, like Barnstormers, like Kaboom. There's Spider Fighter, Freeway. There's a bunch of awesome games. Really awesome games. Fairly simple, but really awesome. And this game comes jam-packed. I'm not sure how many games there are total on this whole collection, but I'll tell you what, it's a whole lot of games. And there's also an Atari collection out there for the PS2 and Xbox. But I'm going to be brutally honest, this collection is better, but still pick up the other one also. But this one is a lot better. I would definitely recommend this collection if you can find a copy. I've had my copies since I was a kid, so really I grew up with this game, with these older games also, so games like Spider Fighter and Demon Attack, I can just sit and play for hours on end. They are so much fun. I think it's mostly because how simple they are, and just the charm, it just makes them totally enjoyable. Because usually, whenever I'm just leisurely gaming, I usually stick with, I would say, like, the Genesis, but sometimes I do like to go back and play some really retro stuff. And this is a good example. As you hear in the background, there's Safety Dance. Safety Dance is in this game. Safety Dance is in this game. That is, like, the best reason to pick up the game, because Safety Dance. The fact that they got the licenses and added in actual 80s music just helps to immerse you even more. Because, let's be honest. The Atari is great and all, but, it didn't have any great, soundtracks because it couldn't. It was just beeps and boops and blops. So having actual 80s music really helps make this game have lasting appeal, I guess. And plus, there's a few other things you can do, like you can earn patches, like how Activision send out patches for the high scores, and you can unlock commercials and other types of things, and you can unlock disco mode. I'm playing Freeway in disco mode. I'm also going to play Demon Attack in disco mode also. So, there's a whole bunch of really neat things in this game that just makes it go above and beyond the normal collection, because, as much as I diss Activision a lot because of their popular Call of Duty and stuff and money, whatever, as much as I diss them a lot, even though I really shouldn't, this game, I kind of love it for just, going all out and just, not just making some lazy collection, but, just making something worthwhile. And as you can see here, I'm showing off a bit of the room. But overall, that was the Activision Anthology collection. I don't have a lot to talk about because it's an Activision, Atari game collection. If you like Atari games, definitely pick it up. But other than that, geeks and gamers, I'm going to leave you with a cool commercial. I'll see you guys in my next video.
Okay, ladies, game time. Yeah. Got this new video game by Activision called Freeway. I just plug it into my Atari video game system and really impress the ladies. Of course, with Freeway, you gotta be real good to race your chicken across 10 lanes of heavy traffic. You gotta dodge speeding cars, roaring trucks. Sometimes you make it without getting your feathers ruffled. Sometimes... Ladies, I'm only human. Freeway by Activision.
Hey geeks and gamers, welcome to a very special review of a very special game, one of the best games on the Dreamcast. A game by Namco, a fighting game by Namco. No, it is not Tekken, but yes, it is amazing. Soul Calibur. Now, while growing up, I used to go with my family to a campground, and at this campground they had many arcade games in an arcade room. Pretty basic stuff, but one of them that I used to play all the time was Soul Calibur. The original Soul Calibur. It was so fun, so fast, so fluent, and it was just one of my favorite fighting games growing up. And here it is on the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast version is near arcade perfect, and it is something that, in my opinion, even holds up today. Soul Calibur. Now, yes, this is a Namco 3D fighter. No, it is not Tekken, but it plays kind of like Tekken with weapons. And I think that's one of its most interesting points, is that it's mainly based on weapon combat. And every character has a unique weapon style. No character really throws punches. It's all weapon based, and it's all tactics and defense. There's long range, short range, and that's what makes Soul Calibur stand out, among its competitors, is the fact that you have to really master these characters and their weapons, more than you have to like throw fireballs and do special moves, and that's what really draws people to it and draws me to it. Even though I love tons of other fighting game series like Street Fighter, like Mortal Kombat, like Virtua Fighter, and Tekken, but Soul Calibur is among one of the best. Now, it is pretty easy to get into. It's one of those games that's easy to pick up, but really hard to master. It's all about the basic rhythm, kind of like how you would play maybe like a Dead or Alive game, kind of like that, where if you can get a good rhythm down, and the moves of each character that you're playing as, you can get some pretty cool outcome, with the fight. You could do some pretty cool stuff, and it's pretty awesome. It's part of why I loved it as a kid, and I still love the series today. It was really not really my introduction, but like what got me into 3D fighting games, because my introduction to fighting games was Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, but this is what really got me into it as a child, because I wasn't really that good at fighting games as a kid. They're too technical, but this came along and it really let me mash buttons as a kid. But then after mashing for a while, you kind of pick up and learn what to do and how to do things, and that's why it helped me. It helped me develop a love for fighting games. So while it is not my favorite series out there, Soul Calibur is one that's near and dear to my heart for that reason. Now, Soul Calibur is a great series, and the first one's a great game. In a time before Soul Calibur had Link, had Spawn, had Yoda, had Darth Vader, had Kratos, or had Ezio, it was just a simple brawler. It was a simple, fun fighting game, one-on-one. Like I said, Tekken with weapons. That's how you should probably think of it if you're approaching it. So if you like the gameplay of Tekken, think of that, but with more long-range and short-range attacks, and just special. I don't know. It's different, but it's also very familiar. It's weird. It's hard to summarize, but it's a great fighting game series that really it's still going strong. The fifth one was released a couple years ago, if I recall. I think it was 2012, and it was a decent game. I have every game in the series at this point, even Legends on Wii. Yes, I have Legends. So I'll get to reviewing all these games at some point in time, but this one's really one you should pick up. And yeah, the Dreamcast port is near arcade perfect. It's pretty amazing. And it's really what makes it one of the best Dreamcast games, you know? I mean, among the, like, the flood of fighting games for the Dreamcast, you know, of, you know, just all the great, you know, Dead or Alive 2, Virtua Fighter, Thirth, or whatever, 3, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom, or Capcom versus SNK, or, you know, Fate or Fury, Mark of the Wolves, all those awesome fighting games. This is really the one that is probably what I would say, if you're a 3D fighting game fan, the one that you should probably pick up first if you're, you know, going to collect for Dreamcast, or if you're just interested in, you know, just fighting games in general and you have a Dreamcast and for some reason you've never played this. Pick it up, try it out. It's great. It's a great game. I also really like the design of characters. What's cool is because, you know, no fighting game really outside the series has tackled like this kind of time period based stuff. You know, there's knights, there's samurai, there's ninjas, you know, there's all kinds of different unique, like, historical I guess types of people. And then there's weird creatures like lizards, and there's big guys with axes, and it really mixes all kinds of like historical culture together to form like a unique iconic style for this series, and I think it works great. I think it looks great. I love the characters. I love characters like Siegfried. I love characters like Keelik, like Taki, as we're seeing here, Mitsurugi. Just awesome characters that, and they continue to grow and add more on the sequels. There's more great characters to come and more great guest characters. Now, is 1 the best in the series? No, 1 is definitely not the best in the series. The best in the series is, for most people, it's probably 2 on GameCube with Link. For me, it's probably 3. I like 3 a whole lot. But overall, you know, 1 is still a pretty amazing game. There's your basic arcade mode, your basic versus mode, you know, team battle, what you would expect from, you know, a early 2000s, late 90s fighting game, you're gonna find on this package. So it's a pretty great game, and you know what, if you don't have access to this on Dreamcast, they have it on the Xbox 360. You can download it, and if you don't have that, just try out one of the other Soul Calibur games. But somehow, you should definitely pick up Soul Calibur. Any of them, except for Legends, because that one's not a fighting game. But any of the fighting games, and definitely give them a go. But that was my review of Soul Calibur. I love this game, and I love this series. I'll review more in the future, but until next time, Geeks and Gamers, see ya.
Hey Geeks and Gamers, welcome to my review of Pac-Man Fever for GameCube. Have you ever found yourself liking something that's bad? Like, honestly, like liking something that's bad for some reason. It happens to the best of us. It's crazy. You know, as much as you can see the flaws and, you know, and you say like the show or the book or the movie or the game you're playing, you know, you can see the flaws in whatever it is, but you still somehow like it. It just happens. It just seems to be human nature, and this is one of those times for me. Pac-Man Fever is a party game that kind of like takes a bunch of different Namco stars of the time, throws them together in a very clunky, generic Mario Party ripoff party game. And as much as I can admit that there's a lot of bad here, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to play with friends and family. It's crazy. You see, whenever I am actually reviewing a game,
the number one element to me is fun. If I had fun with a title, it's worth something to me, you know, even if it's like the dumbest fun like this, it's worth something to me, you know. And I mean, there's tons of like big name games that everyone else loves that I just can't get into for the simple fact that I can't have fun. I can admit that they're great games, you know, in their own right, that they have awesome elements to them. But if there's just something that slows it down for me, something that I just can't get into, and I just can't have fun with the title, you know, overall, it's just not worth it. You know, some of these examples are, you know, quite embarrassing, but it's, you know, some of like the Final Fantasy games and some of the Metal Gear Solid games, and you know, I don't know, even like, you know, some of the Elder Scrolls stuff. Sometimes I just can't get into what's popular, even though I can admit that it's good. But a game like Pac-Man Fever comes along, and I can totally enjoy the crap out of it, even though I can see how bad it is. Pac-Man Fever is a board game, party game. It's sort of like Mario Party, but a little bit more streamlined. Your objective is to go from point A to point B and get to point B as fast as you can before the other players, and that's how you win. Pretty stupid, pretty simple. You do 4 turns, you play a party game, a mini game, and that's Pac-Man Fever. It stars Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Astaroth from Soul Calibur, Heihachi and Tiger from Tekken, and that chick from Ridge Racer. I can't ever say her name. That chick from Ridge Racer, and those are the only characters. And there's only 3 boards, and there's really very little variety of mini games. Your overall objective playing by yourself is to get enough raffle tickets while playing to buy every mini game and own them, so you can get the secret ending or something like that. And I've never gotten the secret ending because I don't care. You know, I don't care to get it. It's just fun to play on its own. But I'm only showing you the medieval level here because I don't want to ruin all the game for you. I want you to experience a little bit of it on your own. So the space and the jungle area, you know, you can play that whenever you decide to pick it up, which you should, because this game's really cheap. In fact, I got this game for free at GameStop because I was, I think it was back whenever I first got my Wii, and they were selling a bunch of GameCube games just to get them out of there for like buy one get one free or something like that, or buy 2 get 1 free. And I bought 2 of them really cheap, and I got this game free. And this game was like being sold for $2, and I got it free in like a generic black case. And that's how I came across this game. But I've played it with friends and family, and it's a lot of fun. Even though it's stupid, even though it's bad, even though I can tell you it's bad, it's a good type of bad. It's not Sonic Shuffle bad, where I can't understand the game and it just bores me. It's a good type of bad, where even though it's stupid, I can still get behind what I'm doing, and I can still have a fun time. Even if half the fun is making fun of what I'm doing. I mean, and there is groundwork here for a pretty solid party game. It just doesn't come together as well as, say, Pac-Man Party. Now, before I go, I want to plug that I just did a top 10 Pac-Man games list with More Fred, More 2, and this was actually my number 10 on the list. That's what inspired me to do this review. So go check out that review. That top 10 list. Go check out that list. I made a video linking you to it. But that, Geeks and Gamers, was my review of Pac-Man Fever. Sometimes what you like isn't always good, but sometimes that doesn't matter as long as you have fun. So I'll see you guys in my next video.
Hey Geeks and Gamers, I'm back with more Little Mac on Smash Bros. Excitement. So here's Punch Out on Wii by Next Level Games. Let's get started. Punch Out on Wii is a very awesome, I guess, reimagining of the original Punch Out. It kind of mixes the original Punch Out with some new characters from Super Punch Out, and it makes something very, very awesome. It makes a very awesome game that I consider also one of the best Wii games. I think it's up there on the top with the Donkey Kong Country Returns and The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. This Punch Out is very awesome, and it's just I don't know. It's a great game. It's actually pretty long too. The original Punch-Out wasn't that long, but it was really challenging. This game is both pretty long and challenging. As you can see here, I'm starting out fighting Glass Joe like you always do, and I'm just schooling him because that's how you win. Is you just school Glass Joe. He's the easiest character ever. But this game takes the original Punch-Out license and just it does it such a good service. It transitions into 3D so well, and the cartoon animation style is so well done. I was surprised back in 2009 whenever I got this for my birthday. I was just so surprised on how great this game was because I always loved Punch-Out. So my parents got me this game for my birthday, and I popped it in my Wii, and I played it non-stop. This is Resident Evil 4. I played non-stop for a good, solid, like, 2 months. It's one of my favorite Wii games. I don't know, it's so fun. The game is made by Next Level Games. Next Level Games, you may know from the recently released, well, not really, recent, but like in recent times. Their last game was Luigi's Mansion: Dark of the Moon, or whatever, 2. The second Luigi's Mansion for 3DS, that was by Next Level Games. And this game is by Next Level Games. And it kind of rebirthed the Punch-Out franchise, and really it's why I think a Little Mac even got into the new Smash Bros. Is through this game, because it did such a great job. It like revitalized the series, and I wish they'd do more. I wish they would make a follow-up to this game for the Wii U. I really, really want more Punch-Out. Now, in terms of the feel of the game, it controls kind of like the old Punch-Out. There's actually 2 ways to play the game. You can play it for one like Wii boxing with the Chuck and Wiimote, and you swing your arms. I'm gonna tell you now, that mode, don't even touch that. That mode isn't good. If you turn the Wiimote on its side, though, you can play it like you would the old NES Punch-Out. You can take it with the D-pad and the 1 and 2 buttons and play it like the classic Punch-Out. And that is when this game is pure awesomeness. When it feels it feels retro. It feels like a very awesome Punch-Out game for the NES, but it has update graphics, and it's very, very clean and awesome. Here's a new character I've never heard before, Disco Kid. He's a goofball. I hate this guy. That's one thing this game is good at. It makes you want to punch every character you fight in the face. It is a very good job making you just hate every single boxer, but want to I don't hate every boxer in the game, but I want to punch them all. Like I love the characters. Like Disco Kid, he's hilarious. He's like, he makes fun of a lot of the American nationalities, because like I said in the first review, it's the games. I mean, the whole series is very insensitive towards nationalities. Here's King Hippo and his big fat King Hippo-ness. One interesting thing about this title is that, unlike the first game, whenever you beat the game fully, you go from Glass Joe to Mr. Sandman, or I think it's his name, you actually have to do 2 other modes. First, after that, you have to do Title Defense, where you just play and fight all the characters again, but there's a gimmick. The characters come back stronger. They come back different. They're faster. They have more tricks. They actually, like King Hippo, whenever he returns, he has taped a frying pan over his stomach. So first you have to loosen up the tape on the frying pan and get that off his stomach, then nail him in the stomach like old times. So it's a pretty cool mode. Then after you beat the Title Defense, you have to go through a mode called Max Last Stand, which I show one matchup at the end. Max Last Stand is the hardest part of the game, because you have to go through, I think it's like a good 8 or so rounds against random fighters without losing. You can't lose at all. Or you're done. I still have yet to beat Max Last Stand, but I stopped for good reason, and you'll see at the end why I stopped. And people who played this game can guess why I stopped. But yep, here's Mac Training, which looks really awesome, especially the running scene. Here's Bear Hugger. I think he's from Super Punch-Out. Bear Hugger is a Canadian guy. Big old fat Canadian dude in overalls. Yeah, I love this guy. He makes me giggle. But this game is, it's a great game. If you have a Wii or Wii U, definitely pick this up. And if you're planning, to get a Wii or a Wii U, make this one of your first pickups. This game is fantastic. I don't know. I find a lot of enjoyment playing this kind of game because, like I said before, it's not a fighting game. It's a memory and puzzle game. You have to memorize these characters' moves and what they do, and and kind of work around that to figure out how you take them down. It's a very awesome concept. I quite enjoy the whole Punch-Out series, and I'm happy as crap that little Max in Smash Bros. I can't say that enough. Little Mac in Smash Bros. Is pure awesome. I can't wait to just pwn everybody. Also in this game, Doc Lois, his trainer, is one of the most awesome characters. Okay, right here is why I can't beat Max Last Stand. Because we have a surprise character, friggin' Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is the hardest character in the game. And he only appears during Max Last Stand, and he is difficult as crap. You see here, I get my butt handed to me, and I can't beat him. He's unreadable. You can't memorize his moves. He is an unpredictable mess of a character. But I am so happy to see DK because I love DK. So hello, Donkey Kong. How'd you get in Punch-Out? It was even cooler because this was before Country Returns for Wii. So Donkey Kong was still kind of an underused character. So whenever he randomly appeared in Punch-Out, everyone was kind of like, "What the heck's going on? Donkey Kong, why are you here?" He's so cool though. My only complaint about this game, I do think it's better than the original. I think this is the definitive Punch-Out game at this point. But the two-player mode, which I don't show off because it's a throwaway mode, you can only play as Little Mac, and the second player plays as an off-colored Little Mac, and I hate that. It feels lazy and kind of tacked on. I wish they would have had a two-player mode where the second player, or the first player, of course, could have played as the characters from the game. You could have been Glass Joe, Von Kaiser, Bald Bull, Soto Pavinsky, Donkey Kong here. You could have been any one of those characters, but they didn't go for that option, and I really think that hindered the two-player mode into kind of a mess, kind of something you don't want to go back and play. There's other games you can play instead of the two-player mode on Punch-Out for Wii. But overall, the Punch-Out on Wii is a great time. I say anybody check it out. So that was my review of Punch-Out on Wii. I hope you're satisfied. I can't wait to see Little Mac in Smash Bros. And I can't wait to see you guys in my next review.
Surprise! Here I am at the end of the video. My mic's a little too close to my face. If you made it this far, thank you very much. I'm actually editing the thing you just watched. The entirety of is being edited at this moment, and I'm here at the end because I have a special thing to show you, and I have to tell you what it is because the opening with Teddy was recorded like 3 weeks ago or something. And at the time, I didn't fully have this episode planned out yet. so I didn't know I was doing this. So I didn't tell Teddy I was doing this. But thanks Teddy for doing the intro, man. That was awesome. I'm here in the ending of the video that I'm currently editing because time travel is fucking crazy, to present to you something special. I did this a couple episodes ago as well. I have another top 10 to show you. I think this is my second top 10 I've shown, and I have one more after this I can show at some point. At some point, when I first started doing the Super Hyper Turbo Gamers, I wanted to do more of the reviews. We also did Let's Play stuff as well. Maybe I'll show some of that sometime. I wanted to do top 10s. And one of my top 10 videos I did was my top 10 YouTubers, gaming YouTubers. Now, this is interesting to me because, for one, I was a teenager, so what I watched then versus like what I watch now is vastly different, with a few exceptions. I watched this again, and there's a couple of the entrants. I'll go ahead and tell you the ones that I definitely still watch is Game Sack and Some Call Me Johnny. I watch them like crazy. I've always loved them, but there's a few that I was like, that's interesting that like I forgot that I really enjoyed this YouTuber at one point in my life. I also wasn't a part of the same community that I am now. I didn't really get up to be a part of this community until TurboZone, really. My first interaction was through Teddy, and then through that I kind of met all these other people. So really, I wasn't a part of the same group as a lot of people were at this time. So just want to keep that in mind. So, if me from fucking 12 years ago says some other guy's name and you're like, why am I not on the list? It's because I didn't know who the fuck you were. I was a dumb teenager bumbling about making this goddamn top 10, and these were the guys I watched after I got home from school, from high school. Some questionable choices from past me. If I had to redo this list, it'd be way different. Even if I had to leave off like my friends and people from the community, it'd be way different. Like, just talking like bigger YouTubers. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I hope you enjoy this special top 10 I'm about to show. Again, thanks Teddy for doing the intro. He's my brother from another Spencer. Spencer's our mom, confirmed. And I'm gonna finish editing the thing you're watching right now because, again, time travel's weird. I got an L8. It's a late one. Bye.
Super Hyper Turbo Gamers.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to a top 10 list that I'm doing right now as we speak. I haven't done a lot of top 10s. This is actually my second top 10. My other one was a Sega Genesis top 10 games thing. This one is a little different. I'm doing top 10 gaming YouTube channels, other YouTube channels that focus on gaming or gaming related things, and that I watch quite frequently and I quite enjoy. Now, I can only pick 10 because I don't want to make a top 100 list. I could easily do that. And so if there's something that you thought should have been on the list, it doesn't mean I don't like that. It means that it wasn't in my top 10. I'm probably still like it. This is my top 10 list. It's what I watch the most on YouTube, and it's, I don't know, it's my list. So, okay, here we go. Number 10. Coming in at number 10 for YouTube channels is Metal Jesus Rocks and TV and Lust. These are two channels that I lump together because they both feature the same, I guess, type of videos. They're both kind of like collection videos and game specialty videos. There isn't really, they don't do a lot of like reviews. They do a lot of like, here, I bought these kind of games. And it's really interesting. Metal Jesus Gamer is actually an older guy for a YouTuber. It's pretty cool. He looks like he's about in his, I don't know, 35, 40s. I don't know, but he's most gaming YouTubers are pretty young, but he looks pretty cool. He does a lot of stuff like he'll say top whatever games for this console. He'll do like a hidden gems list for console of like games you missed. He'll do pickups that he got recently, or collection videos, or just cool stuff. And he even does like a gamer food show on there, to where it shows you how to make little gamer snacks, and that's a cool one. And TV and Lust is the other one at the top 10 spot. His is mostly collection stuff, and his is a lot more about storytelling, I guess, because he does like a lot of stuff to where he like how like says how a game kind of like connected to his past, or you know, or his life and stuff. And he's a pretty cool guy. The guy's name's Craig, and he's pretty cool. He does a lot of cool stuff on there. You'll find games you never heard about on consoles, and that you know he has, and you want to go up and pick those games up. Sadly, he's going through a pretty tough time right now. So he hasn't been doing a whole lot, but everyone understands what's going on with him. He made a whole video about it, and it's pretty sad, but his channel is really worth checking out. Both their channels are really worth checking out, and they're not really the biggest YouTubers, but they're two of the biggest collection channels that I watch. So that was number 10. Number 9. Number 9 is GameSack. GameSack is a retro-ish gaming specialty channel. What they do is there's two guys, and they go back and forth, and they both pick certain games of the topic. One episode may be about, say, one's about Dreamcast games. They'll go back and forth, take turns, and talk about Dreamcast games. Maybe one episode's about, I don't know, I'm trying to think what else they did. They did a lot of episodes. One's about unreleased games. They'll go back and forth and talk about unreleased games. One's about bad games. You know, they'll go back and forth. And sometimes they do episodes to where they talk about two different series, like they did one on Wonder Boy and on Adventure Island, and they went back and forth and talked about it. And it's a very cool show, because you have two people showing, having different perspectives on the same subject, I guess. And one of them is a big Sega nerd, and the other one is a big Nintendo nerd. And it's very fun to watch their episodes, and their episodes are pretty lengthy. You get a lot of content out of each episode, and sometimes you find games you didn't have, or you never played, or that look really cool for retro consoles. So if you're really big into retro gaming, check out GameSack. They're really good. Number 8. Number 8 is one that's a little bit bigger. It's Continue. Continue is a really, really good show about three guys that sit down on a couch every week, and they just play a game that people sent them. It's usually a retro game, but they play a game that people sent them, and it always has like the funniest moments. In fact, I might just put in some funny moments right now.
$15.
What? Dude,
Alright, I made money.
And like depression money, that's like
holy shit, we're rich!
A car.
Depression. Yesterday I ate a can.
America! We love balls!
That's really mean.
Wasn't that hilarious? But it's a really funny show. They aren't like as informative as the past couple shows that I've showed you, but they are really, really funny. Sometimes what comes out of each episode, jokes and everything, is just really, really good. And they're really worth watching if you're having like a pretty down day or downtime or down week. It's a good time. They even have a podcast too. So Continue is at the spot. So moving on. Number 7. Number 7, I lumped two channels together again, but this is the last time I do it. These channels are JonTron and Cat Icarus. Why? Because both of them make the same type of video game, I guess, videos. They're both kind of like reviewers, but they both have this kooky style to them. JonTron is one of the greatest, I guess, online. I wouldn't really call him a comedian, but personalities that I've seen on YouTube. He's a hilarious guy with hilarious jokes that just I don't know. He's awesome, and he always does. Well, he usually does bad games, and the jokes and stuff that come out of these videos of his are really, really, really funny. The only downside to JonTron is that he takes a while to make each episode, but I don't blame the guy. It looks like he does a lot more work than, say, I do, so, he can take his time because the videos that he does make, when they're good, they are good. They are really good. Cat Icarus, on the other hand, does the same type of show, but he does them, I guess, not really shorter, but he comes out with more per week, which is a good thing to do is to kind of challenge yourself to do it per week. And his videos, he focuses mainly on PlayStation 1 stuff. He does like reviews of games, of good games and bad games. He does like some other random shows where he'll look at newer games or he'll talk about something, I don't know. He does like retrospectives of like the first 3 games in a series, and he's also a really funny guy. He's I forget where he's from. I think he's from I know he's from Europe, but I forget where. I don't care. But he's very funny, and his sense of humor is very good. And I would also check him out. I would check out both these channels right now if you like that kind of humor in your video game videos. So there we go. Number 6. Number 6 is the Wii Viewer. This guy is probably not the best, probably not the greatest. He probably shouldn't be up this high on the list, but I kind of have a soft spot for this channel. There was a time in my life, back in the mid-school time of like 2008, to where all I had of like the newer consoles, all I had was a Wii. And if you don't know me, I love me some Wii. The Wii is one of my favorite consoles. So whenever I was looking at Wii reviews, I found the Wii Viewer. He's a guy that specializes on Wii and now Wii U, respectively, games, and does reviews of them. What's cool about though is that he doesn't just do the popular ones like Mario Galaxy and Zelda and stuff. He does do that. But he also does some pretty obscure stuff. Like he does a lot of Barbie games randomly and a bunch of like Family 51 pack games and random other games. And sometimes, most of them turn out bad if it's like one of the more obscure games. But sometimes he does find a really good game. And I've been surprised because I've gone out and bought the games that he said were pretty good, and they were pretty good. He's a very entertaining guy. May not be the best with like voiceover, which I can't talk. My voiceover is not that great either. And he may not be the best with editing, but he does what he can, and he gives you the basic info. And what's also interesting is that his sons, called the Little Reviewer and Little List Reviewer, they also do reviews with him. So you have a children's perspective for these games if you're buying them for somebody else, to see if the kids like them also. So it's a very interesting channel that if you're like Wii and Nintendo stuff, check him out. He's very fun and good to watch. But if you're not really in the Nintendo per se, if you're more of a PlayStation or Xbox person or even like Sega Retro person, don't. I would maybe look at him, but you probably won't find that much enjoyment out of him. Maybe skip this one, unless you're big with like Wii and stuff. So that was that one. Number 5 is the Angry Joe Show. Angry Joe is one of the best like reviewers on the internet because he tells it how it is. If something's overrated or something's just bad, he'll rant and he'll talk about it. But if something's really good or something is I guess being called bad, but it's actually pretty well made, he'll also talk about that. He's a very honest person. He doesn't really have a lot of bias per se. And he tells it how it is. He doesn't take sides with the
I guess the internet, whenever they have this drama and stuff, he just tells you to shut up, you know, kind of like act like a human being and be on your way. He's a very good, respectable critic, and I watch him a lot. Now he does mostly do Xbox and PC. He has done. Well, he's gotten a PS4. I'm not sure how much PS4 stuff he's gotten, but he's not a Nintendo guy, which this counteracts the Wii viewer. Angry Joe is the other side. So, in this one, I would suggest Angry Joe to people who like Xbox, PC, and PlayStation, but not really the big stuff with the Wii and Wii U and stuff. He doesn't really do that kind of stuff. But Angry Joe's a really funny, really good reviewer. That he's honest, and he tackles a lot of popular stuff. He's not really an obscure reviewer. He does a lot of popular games, and if something's bad, he'll point out every flaw. And if something happens, he'll rant about it. He'll make vlogs and rant about it. He's a very honest, good guy to watch. So, Angry Joe. Number 4 is Clement J642, or you can just call him the Great Clement. The Great Clement, or just Clement, is a Let's Player on YouTube. That's literally pretty much all he does. He does like a few little reviews, but they're not big things. He mostly does Let's Plays, and he covers mostly Sonic and Mega Man. He's done most of the classic Mega Man stuff, and he's been doing all of the Sonic games pretty much ever. He's going in order, so he's still not done yet, and he'll never be done, but he does a lot of Let's Plays, and they're very entertaining, and he's very good at it. He's very good at talking over a Let's Play, and I know how hard that can be, because I've tried a few Let's Plays, and they're hard to talk over and always have something to say. And he's very funny. He's a very awesome guy to watch. He's always happy, and it's just a great Let's Play channel. So if you like Let's Plays, really check him out, especially if you like Sonic and Mega Man. Coming in at number 3 is it's a channel I don't have to talk about. It's Game Grumps. Game Grumps. Everybody on YouTube now has subscribed or watched Game Grumps. It's one of the biggest gaming channels right now, and for good reason. Game Grumps was originally started by Egoraptor, who, if you don't know him, he makes animated video game related videos, and well, he used to until he stopped. Then it was also formed by JonTron, and sadly JonTron isn't on the show anymore due to YouTubers complaining about him not making enough JonTron episodes. So JonTron left Game Grumps. Probably, I would say, I'm trying to think of when that was. I think it was around, it was like June maybe? I don't know, it was somewhere around that time, but JonTron left. And to take his place, Danny from Ninja Sex Party came in, and then their friend Ross also came in, and they formed a new show, Steam Train. And then, of course, there's the editor Barry. He always edited the show, but now Barry's a bigger part of the show, and Susie, Egoraptor's girlfriend, is also now a big part of the show. So, Game Grumps went from JonTron and Egoraptor to like more people, but they lost JonTron, which I was kind of sour about for a while, but they're really funny now. I find the cast still really, really funny. They're kind of like a Let's Play channel, but they don't just do Let's Plays like, okay, now you go over here, now you jump, now you gotta find this. They do it live, and they're funny. They're really, really, really funny and talented people. And like comedians, they make some of the greatest jokes, and like some of these jokes have been turned into like Flash animations and stuff because of the big YouTube boom of Game Grumps animated. And there's also a bunch of Game Grumps remixes to where they turn their jokes and talking into music. So Game Grumps has this huge fan base. It's a huge channel. You've probably already heard of it, but it's number 3 on my spot. It's probably deserves to be number 1 of all time right now, but
in my heart, it's still number 3 because I have 2 other channels that I've been watching longer, kind of trump Game Grumps. Just in my heart, just by bias. So, there we go. Number 3 is Game Grumps. Is Some Call Me Johnny. Some Call Me Johnny is about a guy named Johnny who reviews games, in-depth reviews of games. His reviews are funny, but they aren't on the scale of John Sean or Cat Icarus. John does the stuff to where, Johnny does his reviews, very in-depth. They still get pretty funny with jokes, but he's not as obscene, but he's still a really cool guy. And, also, outside of this channel, Johnny is a part of SGB, right? Yeah, Likes to Play, which is his Let's Play channel, which is also a very funny channel, and Brain Scratch Commentaries, which I would have put in this spot if his channel didn't exist, because I also really enjoy that channel. So this spot isn't 3 channels, but he is a part of both of those other channels, and you should check out all 3 of these channels. They're all really good channels, especially for a good laugh or entertainment. There's just hours of content to check out and watch. With that was number 2. Number 1 is one that is my favorite YouTube channel of all time, but sadly it's not really doing its thing right now. It's Classic Game Room. Classic Game Room I've been watching since I've really got into YouTube. Classic Game Room is it's a game review channel. They also have other channels like CGR Undertow and toy reviews and trailers and stuff. But the main channel, Classic Game Room, is ran by a man named Mark, and Mark is one of the most hilarious, nicest guys you will watch on YouTube. He does reviews, and he doesn't do it on popular demand, I guess, and he doesn't do it for like I guess publicity or like, you know, what's here, what's now. He does whatever he wants pretty much, and if he likes something that's bad, he'll like it. He isn't biased. He does a lot of like older, funny like 80s and like 90s jokes, and he does like the best stuff, and he likes the most obscure things. He plays a lot of Sega games and a bunch of like Atari and ColecoVision and whatever else he has at the time, and he has a bunch of arcade games, and he has like his own studio and stuff, and it's very cool to see a review show that like it doesn't care how old the game is. If it's good, it's good, and if it's bad, it's bad. Now, if the game is bad, he won't like rage and, you know, get mad at it. He'll say it, but he'll still have fun. He'll still find a way to have fun with what's going on. And it's one of the best YouTube channels. But sadly, as of late, they had to move over to ClassicGameRoom.com. They're no longer making reviews on YouTube. They still post little videos on YouTube, but they don't make reviews on YouTube anymore. And that's pretty sad. Because he's one of my favorite YouTubers, the whole channel. I mean, CGR Undertow is their other review show, not ran by Mark, and this guy, Derek and CJ and all his other people that work with the Classic Game Room staff. They make reviews on that channel, and they're really good too. But Mark is just he never really used like a lot of music and stuff. He always does stuff with fair use. Mark is fair use, and like the whole YouTube policy stuff that happened kind of booted Mark off. Mark had to leave to go to his own website to do his own show, and that's kind of sad because Mark was also one of the first YouTube partners. His show has been around. Actually, his show has been around since the early 2000s or so, but his show was revived on YouTube back in 2008, and it's been there ever since. So even though his channel isn't doing things right now really with big reviews because it can't, his channel still has tons and tons and tons of reviews. You can't count the number of reviews that he has on his channel alone. He's been doing it since 2008. He does like a video a day at least, like a big review a day. He doesn't take breaks. He doesn't like stop for a month and then come back. He puts things out there, and he's been working really hard, and he's one of the best, if not the best. He's my favorite, and Classic Game Room is my favorite internet show and my favorite YouTube channel. Check it out. Actually, the channel is now called Lord Carnage, but if you search Classic Game Room, you could find it. Go check it out. It's a very, very, very good gaming show. And with that was my top 10 YouTube channels. I'll see you guys in whatever the heck I do next. I don't know what I'm doing next, but whatever I do next, I'll see you guys there.
Take me back to the good old days. I was still stuck in my ways. Maybe that was just a phase.
Take me back, but we here right now. Take me, so let's do it for the now. Take me back now. Take me back now. Take me back now. Take me back now. Take me back. I used to say I wanna come in the back, sunroof top, and I be digging the scene with a gangster lean. Ooh.